Hello and welcome back to our One Piece podcast. Today we are talking about chapters 1025, 1026, and 1027 of the Wano arc. And with me today I have, as usual, Kyle and Luke. I guess just jumping right into each of the chapters. Like overall, these three chapters, continuation of Roof Peace, which is always nice. I mean, you do get some other battles as well, but that was like the main feature of these three chapters, which is nice because something we haven't seen in a bit. Kind of been teased by it with Luffy getting his meat and then talking to Momo, but this is the actual continuation. And then also we had the Yamato battle going on in the background. But um, yeah, I like these chapters. I like the fact probably the biggest thing that I like is the fact that well, it seems to be shaping up to be a 1v1 with Luffy, which I mean I can't remember exactly what everyone's thoughts on that were previously, but I like it. And I mean, it's not like he's the only person ever damaging Kaido. Like Kaido's been fighting constantly the entire last half of this arc, so I like that it's shaping up to 1v1. And then I also like that Momo's like not all of a sudden super overpowered. So that's yeah. What do you guys think of these three chapters?
Yeah, I mean, we basically start out with a chapter that's just Momo flying all over the place because he can't even find the roof, which is pretty cool, I guess. Like everyone's like,
It was a nice like comedy chapter.
yeah, it kind of was a comedy chapter. Um, Not a whole ton happened in the first chapter. It was mostly just everyone reacting to the fact that Momo is a big dragon now. Um, but we get some bits of Yamato fighting Kaido. Um, and then also Kaido references like the flashback that we got, either
Mm-hmm.
the chapter before this or the one maybe before that, uh, where he says that like those samurai that helped her are dead now, and they were executed because they were helping Yamato. He was giving her food. So I wonder if that means that Zoro's dad is dead.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so.
I kind of suspect that it doesn't because they don't just specifically show him again,
Well, I think
and
he would have
he's
to escape
important.
and go to the island, right? Or
Yeah, probably.
so maybe he's not dead. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like he probably didn't die here because they would have showed his face if they made a big deal out of his face in the flashback. But I think if they were going to have him be dead, probably would have showed his face, make it crystal clear. Um, but yeah, also like Yamato takes this attack where like her face cracks, because Kaido hit her really hard. So I don't know like what kind of like thing she was using to like make her really hard or whatever. It doesn't really look like hockey because it looks like it's like shattering.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
like glass.
yeah. So I wonder if that's something that is specific to her devil fruit.
Or
Yeah.
it's ice, probably ice.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It
Yeah.
was like ice. I don't know. She's used like an ice attack in the past, I think. I don't know. It
Yeah.
might be like
Yeah,
part of the
a lot of
build-up.
her attacks are like ice themed,
Mm-hmm.
like ice fire kind of. But it's interesting that she says the attack name like Kagami Yama, like when her face shatters. So it's almost like I don't know, maybe it's like a regenerative thing or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, it's not like she says it to guard before the attack happens. She does it like after.
Yeah, it's like an
So,
exoskeleton shedding off almost. Like I don't know. Yeah, it's cool.
yeah, and then she like bursts out of her like old like shell kind of,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. Um, I'm hoping that we get more of like a concrete explanation of Yamato's power,
The
but
translator's
it
note
seems
says
I
it's
like it.
called Mirror Mountain.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. Kind of
Okay.
interesting.
Interesting.
A lot of these are like, yeah, Japanese folklore related stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
very cool. Wano flavor, I guess. Um, yeah. But then it looks like Yamato is not. She can't do it. She can't stand up to Kaido. She's taken quite a beating, even after her like uh Mirror Mountain thing. Uh, but luckily Luffy shows up with
Yeah,
Momo.
it's what we all expected pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
uh,
yeah.
I would have been okay if it was multiple people fighting Kaido, but at the same time, like, when have we ever gotten something like that? I guess if there were any time that were to show up, it would be against Kaido, but uh, at the same time, if we want to see Luffy be the Pirate King, which has got to happen soon, this is a step that's gotta happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also like the right when Luffy shows up, he does like a team attack kind of with Yamato. Like he hits Kaido with Snake Man. Yamato gives him a big bonk with
Hmm.
the with her club.
I think my MVP, maybe in all three of these chapters, my favorite panel is just the one with. It's like the entire panel is, or like the entire chapter up to the point has been like Yamato fighting, and then Luffy's like crashing through, and then it gets to the one panel of Yamato, and like in the background you just see like a sweating Momo, and it's like very far in the distance, and he's like flying and like doesn't know what he's doing. I was
Yeah,
laughing my ass off at that panel.
yeah, it's a good one. He's like ah,
Yeah, it says something in Japanese. I'm sure it means just ah.
it does. It's just
Slipping,
ah.
panicking. Yeah, that was a great panel.
Basically, Momo's just screaming the entire time. He doesn't know. Luffy's just get to the roof, get to the roof. Momo's like, where's the roof? I'm scared.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I like that it wasn't just like a personality power up either. I'm glad we didn't get just like Chad Monosuke
Yeah,
right
yeah.
after.
Super
I mean,
confident
I'm
Momonosuke. Like that would have
I'm
been.
I'm very content with the way that character development turned out.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I am too.
yeah. I was.
And I think that like his role in the conflict against Kaido is like uh we'll get to it later because it kind of gets defined in one of the later chapters as like to what he's actually going to do.
Yeah,
But it's pretty clear from the get-go that he's not going into dragon mode just so that he can butt heads with Kaido directly. So
yeah.
um
The extent of his growth as like compared to what he was previously is just facing his fears. It's not like physically getting stronger. It's like mentally getting stronger. Like you were literally just like I mean this is in the next chapter, but like biting Kaido like that's he's like how can you be scared? You just bit a fucking Yonko. Like come on.
yeah.
Like I like
And
that aspect of his growth is something that appeals to me a lot more than him getting physically stronger.
and plus that he was the one, it was his idea to do this. Like it wasn't like Shinobu's idea. It was like him being like, "Hey, can you do this to me?" And it's kind of like a big sacrifice for him, like he's giving up his childhood.
Yeah.
So um, we don't know if he'll be able to be turned back. So yeah,
The
I'm good with Momo. I am on good terms with Momonosuke.
um
But yeah, the yeah that first chapter, not much apart from just flying around. So everybody knows also that there's another dragon now. I guess that's probably going to be relevant.
but nobody
Uh,
knows who it is.
yeah, yeah. But they see that Luffy's with him.
Yeah.
Uh, so I feel like they probably know, okay, we have another ally on our cause. This could be good for morale.
Mm.
Yeah.
And yeah, next chapter we get a bit more of the battle, but also we get um well we get a little sneak peek into Oniga or into the town that the flower capital that Onigashima is like right above, and like
Hmm.
that's like the impending doom that they keep saying like this will
Yeah.
fall on there and everything will be destroyed, and yeah, that's
Very,
the bomb under the table for the entire situation if they don't beat Kaido.
yeah. Very pretty
And
panels of like the festival.
Yeah.
It looks very nice. I would like to be there.
something I didn't really think about was they brought up like, oh, they have all the gunpowder on the floating island, and it was just like a gigantic bomb, and everyone that's on the island will also die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about that.
I wasn't a big fan of that. I didn't like the idea. Like I don't know, it's not like a super big thing, but like dropping an island this big, like I'm pretty sure that's the plot of like an Avengers movie where they drop like a city on something. Like if you drop an island this big, it's gonna destroy a whole lot of shit. I don't. I feel like the explosive was kind of like unnecessary. It was just kind of like adding a bit more that it wasn't needed personally. But I guess if you add the aspect of like everybody on Onigashima is also dying, then I guess that would, like you said, that's a different part of it.
Yeah. Y- Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of just also to like give give people stuff to do, you know?
Yeah.
Because later it's like, oh, I'll take care of the explosives. And it's like, okay, well now I think it was Yamato. Now Yamato has something to do.
Hmm.
While Momo lowers the city carefully so that it doesn't, kill everyone.
Yeah. And you mentioned that earlier. Like that is gonna be Momo's role. Like he does bite Kaido, and like that is like a very reasonable thing. Like oh, what can pierce Kaido? Okay, dragon teeth piercing dragon scales makes sense to me. Like that's not something that's not a strength power up that I am completely against. Like that makes sense to me. Like a dragon biting a dragon and doing damage, even though he's just turned into a dragon for the first time, or like a big dragon for the first time. I don't mind that at all. That makes perfect clear sense to me. It's not a role in the fight that I don't like. What I do also like is the fact that he's going to be like a supportive role. Like, all right, Momo, you bit Kaido, he's injured. Like now you can use your dragon powers that you've just gotten, and they talk about how dragons don't fly; they grab clouds, which is like an actual like folklore thing. And he's going to use that power, and that's the same power that Kaido's using to lift the island. So he'll use his power to safely bring the island down, which is a nice role. I like it a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Plus I think that there might be something else for Momo to do, but we'll get to that later. Um, we also see like how Tama got to the island, um, how she arrived on Onigashima
Hmm.
with speed, of course. Um,
Speed.
Speed and the best horse. And yeah, I mean we see like the big nose guy, the Tengu guy, thinking about Otama, hoping that she's safe. Um, and it seemed like he was pretty upset that she left. He was like, "Come back," because I mean, what responsible guardian, or I don't know if he's their grandpa or parent or what, would you know let their daughter go into this den of monsters, like
Yeah.
literally. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, he's just thinking about her, and he's also at the flower capital, so uh, he'll be there when it safely lands, as it will, I'm sure. Um, yeah,
It'd be pretty dark if they beat Kaido, but the Flower Capital does kill everyone below. I don't think that's a very One Piece ending, so yeah.
that's not yeah, that's
I
not
mean,
a
I'm
very One
expecting it
Piece
to be
thing.
to
Unless
work out.
unless there's like another villain that shows up and does it, then
Yeah.
maybe. But I feel like it would be like pretty messed up if like the heroes won and then like just a bunch of people died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I think I'd like it, but I can't see One Piece doing it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
you're
think
you're all
One
about the darker endings. I know that.
Yeah,
I think yeah, Kyle said like if another villain showed up, like that's a very quick way to establish like what a villain is about and like how serious a villain needs to be taken. If another villain were to show up and do that, but we've already got two Yonko in this. I can't imagine like another Yonko or like Blackbeard's not going to show up and just do that. I don't think a
Yeah. I
or
think I think if anyone else shows up, if any like other villains show up, it will be to set up for the next arc rather than to like, okay, now Wano is about them. Because
yeah.
we are like it's so clear that like we're really getting to the end of Wano. At least like we're getting to the very climax. It's very clear like that what the roles are, like what everyone's doing. Like we're in the final fights for all of the characters that haven't already gotten them. So I don't think that like the arc is going to get extended. I think that we're going to have the climax. All of these things are going to resolve. Probably get a bunch of chapters tying everything up, but yeah, I mean, I don't think that like anyone's gonna show up and make the arc about them. This is clearly Kaido's arc.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, the
Um,
only other villains that have been teased are CP0, and that's not like the same tier as they're not going to
yeah,
be the
I
ones.
think that they might show. I think they'll probably like show up by the end, and maybe they'll clash with like some of our guys or some of Kaido's guys. Uh, but I don't think that it's gonna be like they're gonna get that is gonna be like resolved this arc or like they're gonna get like serious fights this arc. I think that we'll probably see what they've been up to and like what their end game is in Wano because
Yeah,
they came to Wano for a reason.
I think we'll probably get
Uh,
some scenes with them reporting back like we have currently, and just seeing like government, what the government's thinking about all this, what their goal is, and what their next move's going to be.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like it'll be a pretty
I think that
hands-off
they're kind of
film,
just
but
biding their time, yeah, until like Kaido is defeated or something.
hmm
I think they might make a move if Kaido gets defeated, though.
yeah.
I could see that. Um,
And then yeah, we get so Momo um, bites Kaido, and Kaido's like, "Wow, that hurt," and then he's just like, but he's also not super phased by it. And then we get
hmm
like a flashback, or not a flashback, like a flash. We get to see other people fighting. Nakamomushi's fighting, and he's losing to Jack, which is sad because Jack stinks. Or no, sorry, Dogman's losing to Jack. Nakamomushi's losing to Perorine. They're both losing, but then we get a very cool sequence of events after Luffy hypes up Momo, and everyone's like, "Momo, what the hell? That can't be Momo. That's a fucking dragon." And then Luffy's like, "Fucking, I will destroy Kaido, or I will defeat Kaido. I will definitely do it." And he gets his sky splitting moment, which gets everyone ramped or riled and ramped, and also gets everyone's Sulong form back, which is a really cool sequence of events. And like that's like splitting skies, like that's the
Thing to
moment
do.
you know what.
yeah,
That's the one.
That's the one. Yeah, that's
I do think it's really satisfying when like he splits the sky, and then the fact that there is like a actual like consequence to that besides it just looking really cool.
yeah,
That like the Sulong forms are back. Like
yeah,
that's like really that's smart. You could tell the Oda was thinking about that. Like he was like, oh, like how am I gonna, you know, you make this like more important than like it already is. It's already super sick. It's like
hmm
showing that he can go toe to toe with the with Yonko. But I like how there's also like tangible benefits besides just looking cool. I think,
yeah.
yeah, I think
Hmm.
that's smart. Um,
I
yeah,
love the page with Nekomamushi and dog. I always forget his name. Whatever his dog's guys. But Nekomamushi's
Inuarashi.
panel especially is so cool. The grinning cat claw panel where he's just slicing off Perorine's arm. So cool.
Yeah, that he's shattering like the candy arm.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
absolutely
It's
awesome.
also nice because like the whole reason that he has that arm is because of Pedro.
Yeah.
So it's like a reminder, a revenge.
hmm
It's good.
Sorry,
Um,
Parasparrow. Perorine is his laugh.
yeah, Perospero, yeah.
Yeah.
And
In one sword style.
Yeah. Odin one sword
yeah,
style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm pretty sure that like the reason that the sky got split is probably because the Clash of Conquerors hockey.
hmm
Uh, because they do it right after like they punch each other, and so I'm pretty sure both of those are like Conquerors infused punches. At least that's what I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure like the other times that we've seen the sky split, which is basically just um like Roger and wasn't it didn't that happen in like the Roger flashback
Yep.
when he clashes with Whitebeard?
And
Um
when Kaido and Big Mom were fighting earlier.
right, yeah. So it's basically just like people with conquerors can do that. High level conquerors
High
users.
level conquerors. Super
Yeah.
advanced conquerors. Which
So
means
yeah.
Luffy has finally made it. He's officially made it.
Yanko.
He is a big boy now.
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
I do
First, but
what'd you say?
huh?
Luke, what'd you say?
he's a Yanko.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you didn't want to believe Big News Morgan, come on. He said he was already the fifth News Emperor. You guys didn't think he was the Yonko then? Come on.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
messed
I
up.
mean I like this. I like that it's really focused on like I like that what we see right before the splitting of the skies is like Luffy being like, "Oh, I'm going to beat Kaido," and like trying to like rally the troops. Because I mean that makes sense. Like that makes sense that that's what like it's kind of been established that like that's like Luffy's superpower besides just being a rubber man,
Hmm.
is that he can like bring people to his cause. And it also makes sense for like, I mean, if we're taking it literally, like conquerors hockey, like you can't conquer anything on your own. You need armies. And
Yeah.
despite the fact that like Luffy doesn't want to like tell people what to do, this is like how Luffy is a leader, is that he just sort of like leads by example. He like inspires confidence in him, and yeah, I think this is a good moment.
He's got a magnetic personality that transfers pretty well into like these hype moments where he needs to get his team going, and it's towards the end of the battle, everyone's hurting, so that a little extra oomph really goes a long way. And Luffy gets it. Well, Luffy has to get it himself with like him physically recharging. He's been knocked out like twice now, I think. He gets the meat and everything, and then he's able to give that one last hurrah. It seems like it's the one last hurrah. Obviously, this we're not sure, but this, like we kind of said earlier, this is looking like the end of the arc. So
Yeah, I think this is going to be the last time that Luffy fights Kaido. I don't think he's going to get defeated again. Or if he does, then it'll be a final. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think
yeah,
that Luffy's going to win.
yep.
Because he's Luffy.
Um,
But yeah, I like also how he's talking to everyone, but he's also talking to Momonosuke there pretty hard, because you can kind of like all this is like preluded by Momo's flashbacks, like how intimidated he is of Kaido, and then he does the bite, uh, and yeah, it's kind of like Luffy's like, you just bit Kaido, like how are you still afraid? Like if you can do that, you can do anything.
mhm.
I thought that was good.
And then yeah, last chapter 1027. Get more of a continuation on that.
Oh, before we go on,
Yeah.
we do get I mean, I think literally zero people are surprised by this, but we see that
Oh
in
yeah.
fact Orochi is still alive. Yeah.
Fuck that
He's
guy.
And
back.
yeah. And I think like I do think that Momo will have some sort of showdown with Orochi uh by the end of the arc. Whether it's like, I don't think it's going to be like a big fight because Orochi isn't really like a fighter, but I think it makes sense. They're both like dragons. They're both like prospective leaders of Wano. One is basically just like learning how to become a leader, and the other one is like a really bad leader who just thinks about himself. So I think it would really make sense for Momo to like fully come into his own as like the Shogun of Wano. Him just sort of like standing off with Orochi and beating him. And I definitely think that like Orochi is a threat that I could definitely see Momo like beating,
Yeah, I could
because
definitely.
I don't think that he's ever been built up to be a physical like threat. And now that Momo's a big old dragon, I think that they could just kind of duke it out in their dragon forms. And since Orochi's kind of a coward, I think that Momo's newfound bravery will be what kind of like tips the scales in his favor. So I think that'll be a really satisfying moment. I think that's what they're setting up for.
Yeah.
Especially since like we see Orochi at the very end of the chapter where like Momo gets like starts to have confidence in himself. Like I think that's what Oda's setting up for.
I could definitely see him like trying to slink away at the end of the chapter and like Momo like catching him and like
Hmm.
capturing him, or even him, maybe even Orochi like if Kaido's defeated, like Orochi saying, trying to be like, oh, this is my chance, like now I can be the
Yeah,
leader and Kaido's not the leader, and like him like mistakenly being like, okay, this is my chance to seize power, and then Momo just bodying him.
yeah, I could see that.
Something
Um,
weaselly, because that's like his whole character. He's the weaselly
yeah,
Hydra guy.
yeah, um, yeah. But also we get like real confirmation. Like it literally says in the text box, like word of God, that Sparrow has been defeated and Jack has been defeated.
Yes.
And I just think it's very funny that Jack was originally billed as being one of the big three. It was Jack, King, and Queen, and Jack basically got nothing. He really did not do anything impressive his entire time, and he got handed off to someone who wasn't even a Straw Hat. Got handed off to uh, Inuarashi, who's like never really been that big of a threat. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense that he's fighting him because of the what he did to the Minx and stuff.
Yeah.
But It's it,
the most impressive thing that Jack did was surviving a hit from Zanusha.
yeah,
Also,
exactly.
this chapter made me like Perospero a lot more. I feel like Perospero is kind of an underrated. Well, I don't know underrated, but he seems more power. Like he's always been pretty powerful, but like this chapter, I kind of liked him a lot more after it. He seemed like he's got a
Been a
cool.
fan of Perospero. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah, I like him too. I think his Willy Wonka design is pretty great, and he just is unapologetically an asshole. So yeah, we didn't get like a ton of like that actual fight, uh, but I mean, with the way that Oda's been kind of like doing a lot of stuff off panel, I'm not really surprised. I kind of wish that we did get to see like some more creative use of Parasparrow's powers. I mean, I don't really care that much about like not seeing the full Jack fight because like Jack is not that interesting in terms of his powers. Uh, it would have definitely made him seem more intimidating if we had seen more of the fight. But Parasparrow, I am actually kind of disappointed that we didn't see more of it because I think that he has
own
like a
anime
creative
episode.
devil fruit.
Yeah. They'll make
They'll make
five
a whole arc on the Perospero fight.
10 episodes for Jack fight, 10 episodes for Perospero fight.
See, we really need a middle ground.
Yeah.
We need a chapter for a Parasparrow fight, not 10 episodes. But
Well, that's 2 episodes then, because they do half a chapter an episode, if not less.
yeah, great.
um,
Um,
yeah. So then we get to 1027, and that's not as much of a fighty chapter as it is. It's kind of Momo centered, Momo and Yamato centered, with a little bit of we get a little bit of King at the end, which is probably my favorite part of the chapter. It's
mhm.
I think my favorite panel in this chapter is like Luffy holding back Kaido with his legs.
yes, that's a good one. That's a
It's
definitely
like
a good one.
he's just like playing around now. It's
Yeah,
kind of funny.
yeah. And like he's smiling at that point too, because like Yamato's like, "Oh, you want them all for yourself," and Luffy's just got like a huge smile on his face, like, "Yep, you know me."
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so we get like Yamato's like, "Oh, I can't I can't take another hit. I'm hurting." She's got
Yeah,
her own Thunder Bagua and he's got his Thunder Bagua and his is winning out, it seems.
yeah,
So
definitely.
Yama Bro needs to get out of there, and so Luffy's literally like, get this fucking. You gotta go with this little bitch boy over here named Momo.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I mean, this chapter kind of like sets up the fact that yes, it is confirmed that Luffy's gonna, at least from here on out, 1v1 Kaido.
yep.
Um, we did see like a little bit of like the team up, Yamato. They kind of handed off at one point, basically right after Luffy got thrown off the rooftop. It was Yamato, and now it's gonna be Luffy again. Um, and yeah, I mean, like I think, well, we'll see how the fight plays out. I'm curious to see like uh how much trouble Luffy seems to have.
Yeah.
Right now, it seems like he's goofing off, but that's just kind of Luffy's personality. I don't think that that means that the fight's going to be easy by any means. But yeah, curious to see how the fight goes.
I want to see him.
Like, what is the turning point? Like, what gives Luffy the edge?
Yeah, I want to see him like learn. I don't know exactly what moves like Kaido has used that he would learn from. Like, I want to see him like grow and like learn, be like, oh, he used this move previously, and like I'm ready for him to use that move now
Yeah,
because I
kind
know
of
the
like the
counter.
Katakuri fight,
Yeah,
where
like
he
the
like learned
Katakuri
how
fight.
to see into the future with observation hockey.
Yeah.
And he
I
was
don't
like
think he's
honing
at a
his
point where
hockey.
he would like need like an awakened devil fruit at this point. Like he's strong enough that he doesn't need
I
that
hope
as a
not.
power up. And I
Yeah,
think that'll be his next power up, but I don't think it'll be this fight. I hope it won't be this fight because it's not really necessary.
I think that if we're gonna get any like, I think it's gonna be Luffy honing the like maybe the Conqueror's coding that we saw
Hmm.
introduced like right before he got tossed off the roof. Just because like I don't know, that's kind of like the thing that they already set up for this fight. Um, I think it
Big
would make
enough
sense.
power up as it is from this arc.
Yeah, he literally had like a
Yeah, I
mini
think
power
because
up
I think
there.
that like yeah, like he showed it and he can use it, but it's like
He
Kaido
hasn't
has been using it
mastered
for a
it yet.
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we've already set up that like you can master skills by going up against strong opponents. So I think that like if yeah, I think that would be a cool way to like a cool direction to take the fight in is like Luffy fighting and it makes sense because it's like his first real opponent that has conquerors. So
Hmm.
it would be a cool like way for him to level up. It's conquerors hockey.
Just like mastering the skills that he already has. You know,
Yes.
even his observation hockey, like we haven't really seen him use it that well.
Hmm.
Hmm. Well, I mean,
So,
with Katakuri kinda, because like he Katakuri was impressed that he was like seeing into the future a little bit. He was like
mhm.
approaching his level, um, and also he was kind of getting distracted too during the fight.
And
So
also, I feel like that's kind of it's such a hard thing to show, like in a manga, somebody being able to see into the future a little bit without just like
mhm.
being repetitive with what's shown. Like you kind of
Yeah,
say it
it
once and then
is.
you kind of have it as like a baseline for the rest of it going forward. So
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of curious to be
I,
like how he takes observation hockey going forward because that's like one part of it, but like I want to see it grow or like some other aspect of it that would be a bit more interesting than that.
I don't really think we're gonna get like more like development of Luffy's observation hockey. I kind of think that like one of the points of the Katakuri fight was to like establish that like that Luffy is like damn near expert level observation hockey user. Um, because like at the end, like yeah, by just basically by the end, he was kind of seeing into the future too. And I think that like I kind of think we've also gotten Luffy like level up in like armament hockey this arc with like the training arc in the prison. Um, and then I think that we're gonna get like the the level up for conquerors during this fight and maybe more later on too because I think conquerors is like the thing that like it in an SBS like Oda was asked like oh who can do hockey and he specifically said that like Luffy Zoro and Sanji are the ones who can do hockey at this point and their specialties are Luffy is conquerors, Zoro is armament, and Sanji is observation. So I think that like if there's going to be one that gets more focus I think it's going to be conquerors just because it's his specialty and we've already kind of gotten a little bit of observation and a little bit of armament. So I think that kind of be the next direction.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. And then let's see. We've got so yeah, Yamato and Momo get out of there. Momo figures out that he needs to glide as opposed to, or not glide, but like dash, I think they say, as opposed to
Hmm.
flying, because he's literally like grabbing clouds. So he's running through the air basically. So he figures
Yeah.
that out, but then he also figures out like that's how, or I guess Yamato kind of just tells him like that's how he's raising Onigashima. So
Yeah.
um,
I
as
guess
Kaido gets
Yamato
beat
knows
up,
this because like just by witnessing Kaido, like just being around him all the time,
yeah,
probably. I guess that makes sense.
and so yeah, as Kaido's getting beat up and maybe Luffy's getting the better of him, those power he's not gonna be able to control those powers anymore. He's probably gonna be focusing his powers on the fight as opposed to raising an entire damn island. So um, they've got to figure out a solution for that. And it seems like Momo would be the answer because he is the other person here that can conjure those clouds, the flame clouds.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a little convenient that like there just happened to be someone on the roof who like knew exactly how his powers worked. And so that now he can like do it on a, I mean, not on a level that's on the like because Kaido's gonna be focused on the fight. It's not like he's directly competing with Kaido, but it's like he wouldn't have been able to do this if Yamato wasn't on the roof. So it's
I
awfully
don't know.
convenient.
It's like a
It's convenient, but it checks out.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
I
mind it
guess
at all. Like her
it's better
knowing
than like
this
a
is
random person telling him how
yeah
to use his powers. But I don't know, like this part
Yamato
of the
was
chapter
already
where
up
it's
there fighting, and
yeah.
yeah,
she's seen Kaido's powers. Like that's her dad.
Yeah, it's literally her
yeah,
dad. She's been hanging around for her entire life, so I'm okay with her knowing that. Like that's also it's like a I think they've mentioned it's like an actual folklore thing as like dragons in this universe. Like I'm sure Wano, like plenty of people know about dragons in Wano. It's probably relatively common knowledge, for people from Wano, but I guess that would not make sense with Momo not knowing about it, so maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, I think that
I don't know.
it's
I
probably
was
because
it
of
didn't
Kaido.
bother me at
He
all.
knows how those things.
It's like kind of a hand wavy thing. I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
I am curious to know like how well he does it because he does make the point being like I just figured out how to use these, like you're asking me to like use a lift an island. So
Yeah.
I'm curious if he actually like lifts the island or if he just like gently puts it down somewhere. Like if he like scoots it off somewhere, maybe not like the cleanest, but like as opposed to just picking it up himself, like that would be
Yeah. I would like that better too.
yeah.
Because I mean,
He's not like the best at
like,
controlling it at this point.
yeah, it would make it just a little bit more believable, I guess, that he's
Hmm.
not mastering these powers like instantly. I think that's probably, yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully where they're going with it.
And then we get King.
Zoro,
What's up?
Oh yeah.
my guy Zoro.
Yeah, King and
Yeah.
Zoro, and King has not said a word in like a long time. It's kind of like a
Ever?
running joke. It's like a running joke.
Yeah.
It's just him reacting to things instead of saying things.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite thing about King, well, I think his hybrid form is so cool. He's got like knife pterodactyl hands. They're super cool looking. Um,
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
and I just love how like it seems like a ruthless like he's like the exact opposite like of Queen. Like Queen is like
Yeah.
almost slapstick in his presentation. He's
Yeah.
always talking. He's always saying something funny. He's kind of flamboyant um, and King is silent. He's efficient. He is ruthless. He is dark. He is brooding. It's just like a good like the King and Queen is just a good duo personality wise. And King especially, like he's grown on me a whole lot. I think he might be my favorite out of the three. Well, definitely over Jack, but I like Queen for quite a bit. But after this chapter, I'm definitely a fan of the King.
Yeah.
It's
I
good
like King.
mirrors for Sanji and Zoro.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
I think it's funny how Queen is the more flamboyant one, even though King is the one that literally is fire.
Hmm.
Uh, and see what you did there, Oda.
um,
But for a second, when because he kind of is like he's like throwing Zoro around with his slashes from his wings,
Hmm.
uh, which is like cool. I like that like he's not just using his swords, but he's still cutting. Um, Kind of reminds me of like the Mr. One fight because Mr. One just was a sword.
hmm.
Um, but like there's like a moment where Zoro like gets caught by Frankie, and I'm like, oh shit, is Frankie gonna join in the fight? But that doesn't
Frankie MVP once again, constantly everywhere helping out.
happen.
Exactly.
He's like, Zoro's like, no, I got this. No, but I'm actually glad that Frankie doesn't, because Zoro really needs like a one-on-one sword fight with King. I think
Yeah,
it's important for
I like
me
how he
that
offered a hand.
he has a really cool samurai fight in Wano. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I,
that's
I like how he got a hand, gave
non-negotiable.
him a hand.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
Yeah, and then yeah, we see a little crack, a little crack in his mask.
yeah,
It's like a hint that Zoro is getting there. You know,
he's
he's
getting there, and we're gonna see what King's race is.
yeah.
Um, I saw a theory that King, well, the obvious parallel would be that if Queen is a guy, and King we haven't seen his or her face, that King might be a girl. So
Oh, that'd be pretty wild. How I don't know how Zoro would react to that because like in Punk Hazard he was so like not down to fight um Monet
I don't know.
because
He's
of the
not like
fact that
Sanji levels. Like I feel like King has been
he's
so ruthless up to him at this point. Like King has been
yeah
like he's literally like, "Hey, King, like you can't do that." Like and King is literally like not giving a shit. Like like most One Piece villains wouldn't just resort to throwing somebody off a floating island. Like they want to like actually have the defeat of them instead of just say like, yeah, get out of here. And then
Uh-huh.
Zoro uses uh, his what's the move from Smash? I don't play Smash. Up B.
Yeah.
He uses his up B to get back on Onigashima, and Zoro's pretty pissed because he's like, "Hey, that's not cool. That's not like a cool fight thing to do. You can't just throw me off the island.
Yeah.
Like, fucking fight me
Yeah.
like a man." So
I think yeah, that could be cool. I don't know if King is a girl. I
I don't know.
think
I don't know
I
how much
think
it would matter. I feel like the biggest thing about King is the race. You know, like that's like the
yeah,
mystery. It's not like the
I think it
like.
would matter more for I think it would matter for Zoro though. I think he would be like he would have to deal with that
Mhm.
because I mean he has like, that whole there's kind of a connection there to his backstory with like what's her name? Lena? Is that her name? I forget.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that like he feels like it was given to him as an excuse that like a woman could never surpass a man as like a sword fighter.
Oh yeah, that
So
could be interesting. What if
yeah.
King is uh Tamagi? What's her name? Fucking Marine lady?
Who?
Tamagi? What's her fucking name?
Wait, who?
Smokers is
Oh,
Talking.
Smokers
oh.
lady
Tashigi?
What it's Tashigi, dude?
Tashigi. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'd be epic.
What if it's Zoro's dad? Oh. Zoro's dad
But
got wings and became
now,
king. It's Ina.
Yeah. Wings, bro. The wings.
The wings.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see like what kind of uh like fire gets brought into the fight because I mean, we know Zoro can cut fire. So I think that he'll
Yeah.
definitely have at least one panel where he shows off that ability against King because King can do fire.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah. I like that. I guess I kind of like that King is like fighting dirty. I think it's cool. I
Yeah.
really like the fact that his wings are swords. Like that's really sick.
It's so cool. I love the pterodactyl aesthetic that King's got going on. Like he looks so, or they look so cool.
Yeah. I
Um,
definitely want like I think it'd be cool to have like a chapter where it's kind of like focusing on their fight and King just like keeps switching off between like using real swords and using his wings and Zoro's getting like overwhelmed by that.
yeah.
I feel like that's really cool.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to like these fights, these the Queen Sanji and the the King Zoro fights. I think next chapter we're due for a little bit of Sanji.
Yes,
We
I
were probably
agree.
get to that. Yeah, I think we're going to continue these fights for a little bit more until we uh, spend a lot of time on the roof.
Yeah, I think it'll be like two or three more chapters, maybe even more than that, finishing up these fights, and then, like, obviously,
Yeah,
like, we'll have like a little, probably a few other things with the rest of the crew and like whatever else is going on in Onigashima, and then Momo saving, or maybe he might have Momo saving the island until after the fight, but I feel like Kaido getting defeated will be the cherry on top. That'll be.
I know Oda likes to like put his big chapters close to like holidays, and I could see him dragging it out until like Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Or New
yeah.
Year's.
I think that this arc will not end before the year. I mean, if we just think about like the pace that of like chapters that Oda's been putting out, like he's been slightly better recently, but I mean, we still do have like a ways to go. Like we're still gonna need like a couple chapters each probably for like finishing up Zoro and Sanji. And then we're gonna need like probably more than that for the rooftop. And like we still need a flashback for Kaido. Um, and so that's gonna take, a few chapters, if not more. So I don't think that we're gonna get an end by the end of the year. But I do like the fact that it's clear what needs to happen for it to end.
Yeah,
I,
I
I
could
think
see it
that
being New Year's. New Year's is pretty big in Japanese culture, I'm pretty sure.
mhm.
I yeah, I could maybe see that.
I don't know
I
what
don't know.
chapter would
I think that
correlate
like
with that, if that would be like a
Oda would really need to like not take breaks, because how many chapters are even left before New
Well,
Year's? That's like,
I don't think Wano would end by New Year's. I think maybe like the Kaido
oh, the
defeat
fight,
chapter might be on
maybe.
New
Yeah,
Year's
because
or
that would be
something.
what, 12 chapters.
Something like that, yeah.
Um, I mean, if he never took any breaks. So I don't know. I don't think 12. I don't think 12 is enough, to be honest.
No, I don't think so.
Especially because we really need a Kaido flashback. So yeah, I think. But I mean, I do like. We're at a good spot in Wano.
Yes, I
We
agree.
are. Um, don't I don't you know, not, it's not perfect, but I'm liking where we're at now more than more than where we were when we started the year. So yeah, I think we were still running around when we were starting the year. So
I think I remember. Uh, I think it was like probably during sometime during Act Two when I first heard when I was in college and I was hearing Luke talk about One Piece before I had started it, and Luke was literally like talking about Wano. I was like, oh yeah, we've been in this arc for the longest time, and we finally just got maybe a hint of what's going to be going on,
yeah,
and now it's like a full like 2 years later.
yeah. Well, at least now we know it's gonna end. Like it's definitely gonna end next year.
Yeah.
Definitely 2022. So like yeah, Oda would have to really be trying to extend it past that.
And
So
yeah, he hasn't really given a hint that that would be something he would be doing. Like it's not something he's done in the past, really. I don't think.
yeah.
So
And I am excited for like the arc to end because there's always so much juicy stuff in between arcs.
yes,
Like it's always like just
deepest lore.
you get lore stuff, you get like you learn what other people like what they're doing. We'll finally know for sure where we're going next. Like I'm really thinking it's gonna be Elbaf, but doesn't have to be, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
This is the first time in a long time where we don't know what's next.
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. It's pretty much since like Fishman Island
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it was yeah.
Yeah, because the entire time on Dressrosa, you had people on Wano, because like the crew is split up, so you know, like,
Yeah.
okay, we got to get the rest of the crew after this, and they're going to Wano.
Yeah.
And then before that,
I guess Whole Cake was kind of a detour. We didn't really know about Whole Cake until we got to Zoe.
yeah,
But
Post.
yeah, I mean, Wano has been set up for a long time, and after this, it's like we really like. Yeah, there's not anything like that's immediately been set up or anything like
Laugh
that.
tail.
Yeah, I mean, if the next island is Lapto, I'm gonna be sad because that just can't happen.
what if
Like, when are we
Elbaf
gonna go to
is
Elbaf then?
Laugh-Tale?
We have to go to Elbaf.
What if
Like,
Laugh-Tale
that's
is
non-negotiable.
Elbaf?
Oh no, that'd be so sad.
Shanks just
You know that.
tells Luffy about Elbaf on Laugh Tail.
Well, you
Yeah.
see, Oda kind of just forgot about Elbaf.
Nah, he didn't forget. He didn't forget because Oda never forgets, and also because it was referenced like last arc, and also kind of this arc because I'm pretty sure Big Mom did an Elbaf spear, so
Mhm.
he hasn't forgotten. He knows. He knows.
Luffy regains all of the memories of the past Joy Boys, and he remembers what's going on Elbaf.
Yeah,
We get like a one
and he's
chapter
like,
like, oh, this was on an Elbaf flashback.
no, no.
I'm just waiting for the Elbaf chapter where Dory and Brogy come back. That would be
Yeah. Oh my God,
that'll
that's gonna
be
be so
quite the
lit.
chapter.
That's gonna be quite such a powerful reunion.
Yeah.
Oh
I
man.
want to talk about if we're done talking about those chapters. I want to talk. We didn't finish talking about the top 50 character spread. Some pretty cool
Oh
stuff.
yeah, it's
Um,
cool.
the right side. We talked about the middle last time, I think, but we get the right side
Yeah,
this time and fire themed. It looks like we get three fire guys going on. We get Marco and the Phoenix, and we get Sabo and Ace next to each other, which is pretty cool.
yeah.
Um,
Also, we have like
I'm surprised to see X Drake on here
we have Smoker too, which is kind of fiery.
and Tashigi. Well, not fiery, but I'm surprised to see her on here.
Yeah, and just because they've been around for a while.
Buggy
I guess
is
I can
pretty
kind of.
spooky looking.
Yeah, Buggy's looking great.
Is that what he looks like
Not
now?
sure where his body went, but well, last time we saw him, he had like a huge cape. We didn't
Yeah.
see like what was under it.
We're due for some
Um,
buggy after this arc.
oh man, it would be so great because like I don't know, I kind of think that like
Buggy's got to be going to Laugh Tale with them.
yeah, well Bucky needs to show up when like Shanks shows
Yes.
up. Because yeah, we need that rivalry. It's gonna be great.
Honestly, this right side is like all old people. We get uh Smoker, we get Whitebeard, we get Raleigh, we get um Garp. It's just a whole bunch of old people.
Yeah, well, except for Carrot.
Yeah, she's got white hair. She might be old. You never know.
No, Carrot's like a little baby.
You never know.
Maybe it's been revealed in SBS. Who knows?
Um, Shout out X Drake's transformation form. Looks fucking sick.
Yeah, yeah. He looks.
Um,
Yeah, I wonder what he's gonna do after this arc. He's gonna be important because of his connections with the Marines.
yeah. Aokiji's here. Who's the guy behind? Who's the girl behind Buggy? The
Um,
guns.
no, that's Izo.
Oh.
Izo shares a birthday with me. Pretty cool.
Oh. Ho ho ho.
Yeah. Oh, also we got some
Oh,
little
we get
cover illustrations.
I just noticed these fucking what's his face?
Huh?
Above Garp. Um
Kobe. Yeah,
Kobe.
Kobe's there. Yeah. Maybe Kobe will show up in this arc.
Kobe's the final crew
Kobe.
member.
No, Marine. You can't.
After the Marines are destroyed by Blackbeard
No.
and Evil Shanks.
Evil Shanks. No, no, Evil Shanks would be on the side of the Marines for sure.
Yeah. I like this spread. It's too bad it's too wide. It'd be a nice desktop background. Maybe if you have a triple monitor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You had a really big one, and you could make it fit. Also not tall enough. At least the one
Made
that I
it.
Yeah,
only 1300 pixels high.
it's pretty low def, the
But
one that I have.
yep, it's cool. It's cool. Oda's good at art. He drew some good things.
So yeah, we have a chapter this week, and then I don't know,
Who knows
probably.
after
Let's
that?
see. Did we have a break last week? Two
We
weeks
had a
ago?
break the week
2 weeks
before
ago, I
last,
think.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
I don't know. I don't know. For getting one this week, I think there's a pretty good chance that we'll have a break next week.
yep.
But
I can't. I don't expect him to do the 4 chapters in a row like he did the previous thing. So.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be like we said, probably more King and Zoro and Sanji and Queen. So
Yep, I
looking
think so
forward to
too.
that.
Yes. Maybe we'll see a little bit of the roof, but I think it's going to be mostly Sanji and Zoro.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I have. You guys have anything else?
Uh, no, not really. I am excited to see what's under the mask. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest excitement factor right now.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited for that.
What are you excited for, Luke?
For some Sanji reveals, see what's going on with the fire, whatever they were talking about.
Oh yeah, they've been teasing that. That's
Yeah.
Nothing. It's nothing. It didn't happen.
No, that's like that's another reveal actually that they've been teasing. Something with
I think
Sanji's.
it's just good. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever.
Kyle is spooked.
I'm scared. We
That's
don't need to give
okay.
him more powers.
More.
More power.
Yeah, it turns out that
Sanji is
Sanji was
evil
actually
Shanks.
he was the specialist guy the whole time, and we just didn't know.
Yeah. All right. See you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.